lounging, son.
Welcome back to another episode of the Comic Lounge Podcast, guys. I am your host, the invincible Iron Dylan, and with me, as always, man with the plan, Mr. Comic Lounge himself, Ryan Bars Balcom. We're gonna be talking about our reads for the week. We're kind of changing it up. Usually, we do 4. We read 4 this week, but one of them was a little edgy, so to speak. So we're splitting it off into 2 episodes. It's one's gonna be let's just say it. So Red Room by Ed Piscor.
Yes, Red Room will be posted after. Probably I'll wait like an hour or whatever, and it'll drop after. Just so I keep the schedule in line. Yeah, it's something else. What we'll talk about. We're gonna talk about it in the other one.
All right, but this week we did read Shang Chi, Heroes Reborn, and the.
Did you forget this?
Oh yeah, no, I read that. I just don't have it.
Oh, okay. We're talking about that too. So we actually are doing 5 books, kind of.
5 books. Oh, 5 books.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, Heroes Reborn is really more of just like we're touching on. I don't want to get too deep into it every week because it's like.
Yeah, no. Let's just talk about it right now then.
Let's
just get Heroes Reborn out of the way.
All right, so we're gonna just touch on Heroes Reborn. You know, it's a weekly, so it's hard to have too many new thoughts about the book because it's not really like you don't get to sit with it. I liked it. I liked the art. You know, again, Jason Aaron writing, Federico Vincentini, and Matt Milla are the artists, and Ed McGuinness on the backup. So you know, this one follows
Mark Morales and Matthew Wilson.
Right.
Matt
so
Wilson.
This one, I know, he's killing it, dude. So I like the fact that we're getting spotlights on the Squadron Supreme in the beginning. I like focusing on this other hero, and he's going against Silver Witch, which is an amalgamation of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, because in this reality, she absorbed his powers when he was killed. I thought it was a fun story, you know, much like last week's issue with Hyperion. It's cool to kind of, you know, get these little spotlights, and Nick brought this up before I had read the issue. He doesn't like that the main narrative is only like a couple pages. He's like, so it literally this could have been told in one issue, one oversized issue, because that's really, I mean,
all this is.
If you add up all the pages, it's just because that's all. If you're just going over the main narrative, right? Because this is just like padding. I don't dislike it. I do kind of wish there was more of like that backup. Like we're seeing like Blade and fucking Captain America, they're recruiting, right?
It's this new Avengers that they're putting together.
Yeah, so I want to see more of that. So like that is kind of upsetting that we're gonna get we're not gonna get a lot of time with that part of the story. Yeah. So it doesn't really knock the book down that much to me because like the lead-in story is really fucking good. I mean, this is like the best Jason Aaron I've been reading since his Thor ended. Yeah. And I like Maya Lopez. I love Echo. She was always a standout to me from that era of Marvel Knights.
That was really cool. I really like the Maya Lopez touch. That was something I really appreciate. The Blur, you know, he's what's the word? The analog for
Flash?
The Flash, yeah. He's analog for the Flash, which is cool, but you know, Barry and Wally, that's our guys.
Yeah, I the depiction of the way his speed works and the way his mind works is a little it's more interesting.
That part was cool. How like he literally does everything like as fast as he does. And like, I take like 500 selfies a day. I flirt text with 14 different girls in 3 continents. Like that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then you know like how he had to defeat like Silver Witch, how he had to meditate and like sit still for a minute and like so it was cool. It kind of ties into like, you know, he studied on the mountains of Wundagore and like had to learn these meditation techniques. So like I said, like it was a fun book. I mean, I don't know how you feel if you're still kind of high on the series. I know that we both had said like the second issue made us like, okay, I'm here for this.
Oh no, I'm still here for it.
I mean, I'm still here for it, but I'm saying like I don't think it didn't like the jump from issue 1 to 2 was substantial for me in terms of me liking it. So for me, it just kind of stayed the same. It
This is
didn't
a
get me like
coast-in.
more excited. Yeah.
This is a coast-in. If anything, the appearance of Maya Lopez in the back of the main narrative is what like like hit that stride for the whole issue for me, right? I'm like, yo, damn, Phoenix Force and all, huh? Also, I like the end of the main story about like who they show the Blur is racing. Oh, when you find out he's racing Eternity.
Oh yeah. At the last page. Yeah.
Yeah, the last page of the Blur story.
Okay, yeah. For some reason, I thought when you said the main one, I was thinking like the Maya Lopez one, because to me, like that's kind of the main story, even though I know it's more the backup. So I got confused. But yeah, I think that I like it, dude, and I like the artists. The art on the book is great. I want to see more bearded, long-haired Cap. I kind of like that look for him because he looks more. I mean, more what I would imagine. Yeah, more what I would imagine. Like, this dude's a man out of time. He's been asleep for years. Like, it kind of fits, you know? I mean, I know, like, why would his hair grow if he was frozen in ice? That doesn't make sense. But I'm excited to see where this ends up, and I'm excited to see what the repercussions are going to be once Avengers comes back. Because Avengers is pretty much on hiatus. I mean, well... Yeah, there's no issues out while this is happening. So, but
this is a little break, which is cool.
I think it's a fun event. I mean, if you're not like already reading it, probably you're one of the people that are gonna wait for the trade. But which is cool, and I would say like it probably might read really good
better in the trade.
Because I don't know how they would break it up. Are they gonna still like do these chapter breaks? Are they going to have the main narrative? Are they going to have all the Squadron Supreme stories before the main narrative? How they're going to do it, I don't know, but I like the book. So
yeah. All right. Next, let's talk about. I'll be honest. I totally forgot we read Wonder Girl.
I know you did. That was my fault. It's not your fault. It was my fault because I kind of dropped it on you. Like, oh, we forgot this book. So.
Well, I read it, so it was like the first thing I read this week.
Okay.
Let's talk about Hulk: Time of the Monsters.
I mean, this one, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't gonna read it.
Really?
If you didn't tell me that you wanted to read it for the episode, I wasn't planning on picking it up.
I got all. Are you not liking?
No, I was probably
the Immortal Hulk one shots.
No, I don't dislike them. I just, it just would have been one that I would have waited for until because I'm getting the hardcovers.
Okay.
I had the first 2 arcs in trade. I got rid of those because I wanted to. I'm like, I'll get the hardcovers, and I'm planning on selling off the single issues because I don't like having some stuff in graphic novel and then some in single issue. It bothers me if I don't have a complete run, so I'm just gonna get rid of them. So this was one of the stories. I'm like, you know what? I knew what it was about, kind of, and I'm like, I'll just wait and read it when it's collected because I don't feel like it's super important to what's going on in the main story because I mean it doesn't tie in at all.
No,
to what the current arc is at least. I mean it is more backstory into like the lore of what Al Ewing's doing.
Green Door, yeah.
But here, let me read the credits and you start because I know you really enjoy the book. Alex Packnadell and Al Ewing are story, and Juan Feria is on the art and cover. Corey Pettit is the letterer. There's also a backup story by David Vaughn, Kevin Nolan. So I'll let you lead off. You share your thoughts on this one shot.
I don't know. I honestly I just like I like the lore building with this whole the Green Door and that whole world within it, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like Al Ewing is doing a fantastic job, like putting together this whole new element to the Hulk story, and to give it more of a significance throughout time. Like the Hulk, like a legacy where the Hulk isn't just like an anomaly that happened in in the 60s. And he's just the one Hulk. No, but there's like this kind of like shows me that there's always been some kind of force like the Hulk that always existed, right? Even in Avengers 2000 BC, when they showed you the Avengers like with Odin and the Phoenix Force and Agamotto and that current spirit of vengeance. They didn't have a Hulk per se, but they had Starbrand, who was a big muscle, right? So it's kind of like there's always been this strong smashing force to exist in the Marvel universe, and I think like with this and putting us back in what year did he put us in? 95,000 BC, 9500 BC.
BC,
yeah. That's wild to me, and I want to know more. This is just adding elements to the importance of like the Hulk's existence, right?
Yeah,
I loved it, dude.
And I mean, the whole. Are you current on Immortal Hulk?
I'm like one. I didn't read 46.
Oh, you're current. I mean, that's current. To me, that's current. I mean, being behind one issue is not. I mean, what Al Ewing has done for the Hulk is it's unlike any Hulk story that I had ever read before. And now I was never a huge Hulk fan in terms of the comic books. I mean, I know that there's like the whole Peter David run that has been heralded as a great run. I didn't read it. And I'll be honest, I never read Future Imperfect either. That was just not a story that I ever checked out. But there was a run by Bruce Jones that leaned into the horror elements of this monster that was during Marvel Knights, and that one I remember liking. Like when I was going through my collection during the pandemic, like I'm like, oh shit, I have like this whole run of Hulk. I got to get to it. I got to reread it again because Immortal Hulk had kind of stirred up that love for the character for me. And I mean, what's really dope is it's basically been Al Ewing and Joe Bennett the entire fucking time. And you and I talk a lot about there's no good runs really anymore that go past maybe like a couple arcs. Well, we got it with Immortal Hulk, and we've had one-shots, and the one-shots are written by Al Ewing, so it's like they matter, and they count towards what he's building. It's coming to an end. You know what I mean? Issue 50 is it, and they're gone.
Yeah, that makes me sad.
It does, but at the same time, like
it makes it great.
I'm very excited to like be able to look on my shelf, and I'll have the hardcovers, and I'll be like, I want to do a full reread of this series,
It's fantastic.
And the Green Door thing, like, I don't fully understand what the fuck the Green Door is. It's like, it's this doorway to like, is it hell? Is it this other realm that is creating like, that's why I want to do a reread. Cause I feel like if I read it again, I'll pick up on some of the stuff that I've kind of forgotten about over time. But that's the whole thing with this character or this new Hulk, which by the way, this design is just. Let me just hold up this one page that made me so uneasy when I fucking looked at it.
Yeah, dude.
A Hulk with goddamn horns coming out, and that smile. It's so unsettling.
The eerie smile.
And we're going to talk about Red Room. That was an unsettling book, but this was just almost as unsettling to me. And there was no gore to it. It was just the smile. Juan Ferrier, like I love his art.
Yeah, no, it's some cool stuff, dude.
Yeah.
It's really cool stuff. Al Ewing is just like a master of what he's doing as far as the horror aspect of it, right? I don't know if it's like a collaborative thing to depict these things, but like how this Hulk puts himself back together. Pretty wild, dude. It's
I mean, let's say it.
It's some wild stuff, dude. Okay, so they fucking eat the Hulk because they hunt him down, like this village of like starving hunters and gatherers, and they eat him. And then like while like the head chief is like making a speech, oh, this is a gift from the Mother Earth. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
They have the Hulk's head, like this Hulk's head on a pike with an arrow through its eye, and that picture that Ryan just showed is when, Hulk is Hulk, and Hulk's time is nighttime. So he pulls himself back together, but all the food that everyone just ate made of Hulk's body just came out of him. Oh,
I know. Dude, you're making me like the book more than I liked it. But you always kind of push me back over the edge.
Dude, when we talk about this is a good one. This is a good one. Like it's like you said, it really does. Like, we could have done without it. totally fine if we never would have gotten it. It doesn't add anything, like doesn't add anything crazy that we don't already know about the Hulk, the Green Door, and like its existence, right? And the one below all, and that whole thing that's going on in this arc right now. But it's like it's cool to take a break away from the main narrative and just get like a little tidbit. You know what I mean? Get a little tidbit of something else that pertains to it.
Yeah. No, definitely. Yeah. I mean,
and
the back of
I feel like it's also just Al Ewing. Oh yeah, I got this story by the way. Flex, real quick.
Fucking Al Ewing. He's such a great writer. I mean, he's got
good.
some other books coming out I can't wait to
read. I started reading out of your recommendation, Guardians of the Galaxy. Just started reading it. I literally haven't even gotten through the first chapter yet. So, the first issue yet. So
yeah, let me know. I mean, now I might be down to talk about that on the podcast with you if you're down. Do an episode on Volume 1. That'd be cool.
Yeah, and then the backup story is about the DC universe, the DC universe crossover with the Hulk and Scarecrow. I'm just kidding. It's not really, but
I know, but it's
it's literally
it's literally like a ripoff of our Scarecrow from DC. So
right,
it was a good story. I mean, I love Kevin Nolan's art. He's one of the greats in comics.
I get a lot of Mignola vibes.
Yeah,
in some of the panels in this, but it's cool.
Yeah,
it's great art, and like I said, it just adds the awesomeness that is freaking the Immortal Hulk series right now. It's freaking great. I'm like I said, I'm a little sad that it's ending, but at least everything about it has been solid enough where I can't be like, oh, 50 wasn't enough, or you know what I mean, like.
No, I think it's a time to celebrate because Marvel let him do what the fuck he did.
Yeah, and they
let him tell his story. Yeah,
it's Daredevil, which I haven't read yet, but I should have. But Daredevil, and I don't know if it's big just because I worked there, but friggin' Daredevil and Immortal Hulk are one of our highest pulled subs for Marvel.
X-Men is still our highest, I think.
Well, X-Men is because of the sheer amount of titles, but as far as
I'm saying X-Men, X-Men proper. The rest of the books are like in the 30s, 40s, maybe 50 subs.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, Immortal Hulk is great. I mean, dude, we got to talk about that finale when it happens. So make sure that you're caught up because we're going to talk about issue 50 when that drops. Because
for sure.
Yeah. Anyways, let's talk Shang-Chi. You didn't read the first 5 issues.
I read the first. I thought I did. I legitimately thought I did, and I realized that I didn't. And I think I only read like issue 1 and 2, which is totally fine because this is
that's the same for me. I only read the first 2.
Yeah, because this is a great jumping on point. As far as someone like who I can tell you right now, like I don't know what was going on, but it's a great jumping on point, and it gives you everything you need to know within this issue, as far and as well as introducing a new character to readers jumping on at this point. Esme, we get what's her name, the little girl.
You know who she
reminds me? Yeah,
it's his sister, but she was introduced in the last miniseries.
Yeah, exactly.
So the last miniseries was kind of set up, right?
Yeah.
I was kind of upset when they announced it as a miniseries because I love credits real quick. Jean Luen Yang, DK Ruan, and Triona Farrell. I love Shang-Chi because I love martial arts. I mean, I really dig every story that I read with him. I haven't read a lot of the old stuff, but I can't remember. I think it was a Paul Galassi series that was I think it was a Max series that I read when we were in probably middle school or something. And then I really liked the first couple issues of the past series, and I have all the issues at home, and I was gonna say hey, let's read it before this drops, but I ended up forgetting about it. This, I mean, it says it right off the bat, versus the Marvel Universe. So, right off, that cover alone, I'm just yes, I want to see Shang-Chi fight all these motherfuckers. I'm down. And, just a little backstory, basically, like I said, the setup was before he's taken over this criminal organization that his father used to run, but he's not running it as a criminal organization.
No.
So, you have all that, and what I really loved, and I told Nick, it's the humor that's in the book, because it's not corny, and it's not too much humor, but just the entire story of him tried to keep the fact that he's running this criminal organization away from Spider-Man. Like you start out, he's on he's on a date, you know, and his sister's trying to contact him. He's like, dude, stop.
Yeah, no. It's like, I'm gonna turn off my phone. Don't you dare.
Yeah.
And then 2 seconds later, in the middle of the date, you see someone's face slam against the window of the restaurant, and it's his sister, and his sister just threw somebody.
Yeah. I mean,
it's some good stuff. This is some good old fashioned action movie stuff. That's what this is.
Yeah,
it's good old fashioned action movie.
I love Ruan's art.
Ruan's dope. His Instagram is active.
And you know how I found out about him was that he did that Vault book.
Yeah,
he was doing a book from Vault. Bleed Them Dry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was the book he did. And then I found out he's on Shang Chi, and I'm like, oh fuck, like that's dope, dude. And I know I've told you multiple times how much I love Gene Yang's stuff.
Oh yeah.
Like American Born Chinese, Dragon Hoops, Superman Smashes the Klan. He's doing Batman Superman. Dude, he's just one of the dopest cartoonists out there.
Yeah, no, this is fun. Like this is good old fashioned action kung fu movie. You know who SME reminds me of? Remember in the 90s the Jackie Chan Adventures animated series?
Yeah.
So this is just Jackie's niece, but with knives.
Yeah, she's fucking hilarious, dude. How she Spider-Man webs it, and she's like, it feels like snot. He snotted on me.
It's not the snot man. It's Spider-Man, by the way. Spider-Man. Thank you. The humor is good in this too, like you said, and you know, judging by like how this first issue is, and how you said, like, you know, Marvel versus the Marvel universe, and who's going to be featured in Captain America coming into the next issue in the second issue. It's basically, I feel like the beginning of Shang-Chi's story. He's just gonna run through the entire Marvel roster in the first like 6-7 issues, right? It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be some cool stuff, dude. I'm really excited for it. And this is a great jumping on point, dude. I
mean, it's nice to be able to have a comic book that I can recommend to people after they've watched the fucking trailer for Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
The trailer was dope. I think, I don't know if I said this to you. I've said it to a few people that trailer, I haven't been that excited from a Marvel trailer in a very, very long time. I can't remember the last time a trailer I was like, oh, hell yes, dude. You know, like, Endgame, I expected, you know what I mean? Infinity War and all that, like, I expected to be excited. I didn't know what to feel when I was going to see the Shang-Chi trailer, and it was dope, so.
I feel like Simu Liu is gonna do a fantastic job. Like, I'm a big fan. I watch Kim's Convenience, and he's the son Jung, and it's such a like a heart. It's like that show Kim's Convenience is such a good family sitcom to watch, and the fact that it's one of the most diverse things ever. And as far as Shang-Chi finally getting a little light, I mean, we knew Shang-Chi was coming. We knew there was gonna be a Shang-Chi movie. We knew Simu Liu was gonna be it, but like, with everything that's going on right now, with like, you know, hate against the AAPI and all that stuff, I feel like it's necessary. I saw that I think CNN took a poll over with people and see like which if they know any prominent Asian Americans, and literally 3%, the 3% said Bruce Lee, and another like 30-something% said Jackie Chan, and then 46% said I don't know. Like that's a little disheartening.
I mean, I'll be honest. Like, I probably would have said the same thing. Like, I'm just not familiar, you know.
No, but if I start saying names, you'll be like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Olivia Munn, The Rock. The Rock's Asian.
It's true. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. You know, but you know what? Like, I didn't even like. I was just saying this the other day. Like, I didn't even consider Indian or Asian. Like, I didn't. It just for some reason, it didn't compute in my fucking brain. I don't know why. Like, I just didn't associate that. And then I was like reading that the DC's was it the Celebration Festival?
Festival of Heroes. The Festival
of Heroes. Right. Oh, because Rom V, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because Rom V was writing, and they only had Asian creators, and I'm like, I feel so stupid that I just didn't know. But
And that's okay.
that's why I think that a book like Shang-Chi is important. I feel like the movie is going to be important for me. I think it's going to do exactly what Black Panther did in terms of the power that timing of it coming out. I think it's going to be one of the more important films, and I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the comic book. I mean, it's just a fun book, and this is what
It is
you
fun.
don't have a lot of books that come out from DC that are just pure joy and fun to read, and also really good. You know what I mean? Like, this is that book for me, and I hope more people check it out.
I love what's happening in comics. I feel like comics is like, when it comes to like inclusion and all that stuff, I feel like, and a lot of people don't know this, not everybody reads comics, but I feel like when it comes to like inclusion and like a shift in paradigm as far as like just just inclusion in general, I feel like comics is always one of the flag bearers of it, right? And it's apparent in Shang-Chi that we're getting Shang-Chi, right? It's apparent that in a lot of the Image books, we're getting a lot of Asian lead roles or Asian based or like Asian based stories, because we got the Good Asian. We
Made
have
in
Made in
Korea.
Korea that's coming. Made in Korea. Oh, I can't wait
I
to talk about
know.
that.
I
I
know.
can't wait.
I'm wait. It's coming out soon, right? They just put
Yeah.
those advanced PDFs really early for that book because I keep waiting for it to come out, and I'm like, where the fuck is it? It's just not
Yeah.
out yet. So yeah,
No,
we're gonna talk
it's
about it for sure.
fantastic. And I feel like comics is always the flag bearer for all this inclusion stuff, and I'm here for it. And I'm, being Asian myself, it's nice. It's nice to be able
Yeah.
to see people you grew up around
Yeah, it's
being
nice to
being
see a
represented.
reflection. It's nice to see a reflection of the world around us in comics. It's nice to see actual reality in what we read instead of just, like there's more than fucking white people and black people and Hispanic people and like there's everybody,
Yeah,
especially for us. Like we grew up in LA, so it's like literally is the melt. It's not just the United States that's a melting pot. We are the epitome of the melting pot where we
yeah,
live.
yeah,
So it is cool to see the representation more. And yeah, dude, everybody go pick up Shang-Chi and go pick
go
up
pick
the
up
first
Shang-Chi.
volume that leads up into this series. The
Yeah,
single issues might even still be available at your shop
yeah.
because we had all 5 issues still. And
We had all 5 issues too.
instead of getting the trade, I'm like, I'm just gonna get the fucking singles because I had I think I had just brought it home to read, and I'm like, you know what? I kind of want this for the collection, so go pick it up. My favorite book that was not gory this week. My favorite book that I can recommend to people. Let's put it that way. Wonder Girl by the
Yeah.
great Joelle Jones, Jordi Belair on colors. I will sing to the high heavens of how much I love Joelle Jones. She is not only one of the sweetest people that I've talked to in comic books, most humble because she is so talented and like. But I think all artists probably talk about themselves like they're hard on themselves, right, when they talk about their shit. But she is a list in my mind,
Yeah, no,
and she just continues to level up with each project that she does. She did Lady Killer at Dark Horse, which is optioned for a movie, and
with
she
Blake
did some,
Lively.
yeah, and she's done other stuff also, but like her, just from her Catwoman to the Wonder Girl series, like you can see how much she's grown. You can see how much fun she's having with this book. The way she plays with the structure of the pages.
Dude, I love Yara Flor. I love that
Yeah.
Joelle Jones has essentially created Yara Flor. For someone so young in her career to have a character that's already being like made into a show, and it wasn't even like put out yet. You know what I mean? Just based on popularity alone, like,
Yeah.
dude, and she's killing it. She's not disappointed. This issue does not disappoint. Yara has her own personality. Yara's on her own adventure. She's not like any other character to bear the Wonder Girl mantle before. You know what I mean? She's definitely for 2021 in and out of her core. Like, you know what I mean? There's just so much. The comic itself brought me a lot of joy. It was just fun, dude. It was
Yeah,
just
just like
fun.
you said, like
Like,
I said with Shang-Chi, this was I was smiling, bro. I was smiling. Like every page I flipped, as I was like poring over the detail, like look at the title, like Themyscira. You know what I mean? How she does that when you go to fucking Mount Olympus.
She's killing it.
She's
She's killing
so
it.
fucking good.
She's good.
Okay, I've been saying Nightwing has been the best series.
Yeah.
Since the Infinite Frontier. Well, Wonder Girl's making a run for it as well. So far, I would say my top three would be Wonder Girl, Swamp Thing, and Nightwing.
Yep.
For Infinite Frontier, I'm just solid.
Never in a million years would I ever be like, yeah, my three favorite DC books are Nightwing, Swamp Thing, and Wonder Girl. Never.
I mean, you might have said Swamp Thing.
No, but like the three together.
I know it's weird. It's a weird mix.
None
of them are connected in any way.
This is my new trinity.
None of them are connected in any way, shape, or form, but they are so goddamn good. They are so good. I love the way she like her depictions of the Greek gods. Like we talked about. Remember Ares? How she depicted him in the fucking Idris one. And like I love how Zeus is like all in shadow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
They haven't shown him yet.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you kind of see him, but he's like it's just very ominous to what's gonna go down. And you know we're getting a little bit of peek into Yara Flor's past, but still mysterious. We're seeing that whatever she's doing is creating this like effect
ripple on mythology, on all the
on Themyscira, on Mount Olympus, and they're all feeling like whatever she's doing and wherever she's going is creating this like the butterfly effect. And I can't wait to see how that continues to play out through the series. The heroes, like the double page spread, dude.
That was one of the best pages. That's one of the best pages I've ever seen. Not only was it just like not only was it showing like the ripple effect with like the mythos and the superheroes, but it also was Joelle Jones like, hey, watch this, I could do everybody.
Yeah. That was like the most flexing I've ever seen her do, and she killed it on every single hero. Like Nightwing with his little dog. You know what I mean? Like, and then I forgot the
Bitewing.
character.
That's what I'm calling him. Bitewing.
The little girl. She was in yeah. So you got her. You got her Oracle. Like I've long said, dude, I want to see a Birds of Prey book by Joelle Jones with the original Birds of Prey, Black Canary. Oracle and fucking Huntress. And I mean I want to see her draw the whole DCU now. I want her to do everything because she really is she's one of the best artists that DC has.
Yeah.
I'd say top 3 easily.
Yeah. Best interior, best cover, like the combination of both. And she's a writer, dude, she's sick. Okay, the thing I really love about her art is that and her writing style is that everything about it feels like an indie book, right? Catwoman felt like an indie book in its sense. I mean, Lady Killer, obviously an indie book. Yara Flor, you can call this. You can pull off the Wonder Girl Rick and title off this and just call it Yara Flor, and it's an image book.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and she does it so seamlessly and so effortlessly. Like, I can't wait for her to hit the heavy notes of her story, right? The rise, the fall, the second and third, the build up in the second act and the freaking climax in the third act. Like, I can't wait to see this whole thing unfold because she's Yara Flora is being positioned to be like one of the next big characters, and Joelle Jones is 100% the reason why. I've been recommending it to people who don't read comics because, like, they say, "Oh, hey, that's the Brazilian Wonder Woman." I'm like, "Yeah, you should read it." Like, what? Why? Because it's that damn good. Like, if you don't read comics, you'll definitely like reading this one. This is the one. Every so often, there's always comics that are able to make people fans. This is it. Yara Flor, Wonder Girl is it.
Yeah, Wonder Girl was by far the best book this week. By far.
Yeah. Mm.
I know. I mean, like Red Room's on like it's in its own category for me. You know what I mean? Like I really, really enjoyed it, but Wonder Girl was just like it was something so special.
It was the full package, dude.
And like the ending, like just like the imagery of the water. Like, you could, I mean, she is so goddamn good. And the siren, like, wrapping her up. Like, I just want to see, like, why is she having this profound effect on the world? Why are these, like, feelings of, like, ominous, like, darkness coming to the heroes, to the gods, to the fucking Amazons? Everybody's feeling this, like, and she's got this, like, innate feeling, like, to be a hero. You know what I mean? Like, you see that when she, like, runs towards a car. You know, I just can't wait to see, you know, how this is all going to tie together. We got the Amazons now being led by Nubia because Hippolyta is with the Justice League. Diana's still gone. I mean, we don't know what's going on with Diana. I'm sure she's going to come back into the DCUs. I mean, she's not going to be gone forever. It's fucking Wonder Woman, you know? But this book, sometimes DC or Marvel just fucking, they do a book that is just fucking perfect. And this is perfect. This is a 10. This is a flawless book, both in writing, art, coloring, lettering. Everything about it is just perfection. I loved the book so much, dude. So
yeah. So that wraps up the 4 that we can talk about to everybody.
Right. So we'll just say the books that we're gonna pick for next week instead of talking about it in the next episode. So
let me pull that up.
My suggestions. Well, I mean, I don't think it's just a suggestion. We're talking about Milestone Returns.
Yeah, right? I'm recommending that to everybody. Whoever comes in, like, you'll get this.
Obviously, we'll talk Heroes Reborn briefly. Made in Korea. Heroes Reborn.
Heroes Reborn.
And I don't know. You want to talk Last Ronin? All right. So okay. What we're gonna read next week: Milestone Returns, Mr. Miracle #1.
Heroes Reborn.
Heroes Reborn #4, and Made in Korea #1. So those are the books for next week, and all the books we talked about today. Hope you guys fucking pick those up. All of them were dope. Make sure you check out our Red Room episode if you haven't already clicked that one before you click this one, because they're dropping on the same day.
And only check it out if you're prepared for it.
Right. There's going to be a warning when we start the episode. And if you're not already following us, make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter, The Comic Lounge. Follow Dylan Bot on Instagram. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you're notified every time a new vid goes up. Throw your comments or suggestions down below as well. And on that note, we're out.
Later, buds.